Yo, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Hey, man, you know what it is? Y'all see the swag, y'all see the drip. Y'all know what time it is, because we finna take a trip. That's right, I'm talking about this past the ice, baby. End of the year edition. But wait, hold up. Fam, it's something missing, though. What we missing right now?
Music.
Missing some music?
The music.
You know what? I got you, man. I got you. Hold on, man. Hey, yo, DJ, where that song at, bro?
Yeah, highlight. Don't forget the real though. Yeah, yeah. I bet you won't turn me up. What's that you bumping? It ain't vibing hard enough. Hey, no. Check my playlist, guaranteed you ain't hit top. From the indies to the mainstream, bringing other stuff. Music talks for Dwayne and Janean. Run it up. Run it. Huh. Pass that ox. Pass that ox. Hey. Bobbing through you. Back on the scene, Dwayne and Janean. I'm bringing the facts, they know what I mean. Music comparisons, yeah, it's embarrassing. Up in the Ford, I feel like I'm Harrison. Back on the fast track. Mighty and morphin' my name. Zach. Feel like a gentleman, top of my class.
Ooh, ladies and gents, boys and girls, what's happening? What's happening? Hey, man, quick toast. You know what? It's your host with the most all day, every day. We like to say, appreciate y'all, man, for such a phenomenal year and everything we do, man. You already know we here bringing y'all the energy, bringing y'all the scene, man. Hey, this is your favorite, greatest audio musical podcast of all podcasts. And we got a real special edition for y'all, man. It's the end of the year, man. It's been, shoot, up and down in between, a little bit of everything in the means. You know what I mean? We got a lot of stuff significant that's happened musically, a lot of dope drops, a lot of dope surprises, moments, people who left us surprisingly, all kind of things, man. It's just been a 2021 to remember in different ways, man, especially in the music world. But it's your boy Dwayne, joined by none other than my two favorite people, as you already know. Starting with the ladies first, all day, every day, we talking about the queen of clutching, Miss Bougie Thuggin', and my one true favorite cousin, none other than Miss Janean. What's happening?
Dwayne, I love how you were like spitting bars so effortlessly. Like the whole intro rhymed. It was beautiful.
Hey man, you know we artists. That's how we do, man. It just naturally comes. So we just have fun with it. But speaking of having fun with it, man, this is kind of fun because we never seen my boy swag up so nice before, man. Normally you see this man in a hoodie, you know what I'm saying? Maybe an Eagles little sweatshirt, you know what I'm saying, or some Celtics repping. You never know. But man, he switched it up on y'all, man. He came through with the sweater game, you know what I mean? What's happening?
Cashmere?
Cashmere, what? Turtleneck, what? No turtleneck. V-neck, what? Hold on, wait a minute now, what? Hold on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all, hold on, allow me. You already know. The hardest working man in show business. And of course, you already know. He is, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me now. Your critique of artists in the building. I'm talking about my bro from a whole nother Joe Schmo. I'm talking about Mr. Derrick Myers. What's up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on, man? You know, hey, we here, man. Y'all ready to have an end of the year wrap up edition to this show right here, man?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Y'all know, and of course, we got a familiar face joining us right here, man. See, the plan was to kind of have folks kind of pop in on us from previous episodes, you know what I'm saying, to give y'all a little dose of things. So we had an artist join through with us real quick. Y'all already know, y'all might remember this, man. And if you haven't had a chance to check him out by now, then what took you so long, my guy? Seriously, what took you so long? Like, go backtrack. If you want to learn a little bit about the artist we about to introduce, you know what I'm saying? Because things change, man. You know, you grow hairstyles, change up looks, so you may be like, hold up, you know? So, none other than, you know, Gwinnett's finest North Side stand up. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Felipe. Fresco Phillipe. Oh, see, I did it. I was trying not to do it.
I tried to cut you off before you messed it up.
She did. Because I kid you not, I have been saying it right the whole doggone time, and I finally botched it. God, dog.
Nah,
ain't that crazy?
Look, I love it, man. The longer people botch my name, the longer I stay humble.
No, real talk, brother. It's humble flex, man.
You ain't shit, bro. Like, we still not even get your name.
Come on, man. Yo, y'all already know what it is, man. Our boy Fresco Phillipe, you know what I'm saying, in the building, man, representing that North Side Gwinnett, man. What's good, my guy? Long time no see, man.
I know, man. It's been crazy. It's crazy to like talk to you guys again and then just think about all the shit that's happened between now and then and like the conversations we had back then and what's happened and like the stuff that like I talked about that came to fruition and like the stuff that I was going through that I'm like now I'm going through a completely different shit, you know? So it's it's a little bit crazy, man. It's I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird to look back at shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we don't do it often enough.
Agreed.
Nah, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? So, you know what, Cuzzo, let's go ahead and kick things off, man. What you got? What you got? You want to ask my boy real quick, man, with this end of the year edition of PTA?
Yeah, let's do it. So one thing that I love about Pass the Ox and our sister podcast Plugged In is we really have the opportunity to spotlight up and coming artists and independent artists and our friends and people that we really want to see make it. And Fresco Philippe is like probably the second guest that I personally brought on, but he is the homie. So I was really excited to be able to share his music with everybody. And I would say you had a hell of a year. Like I went to a live show and the crowd was like, Fresco, like it was amazing.
Yeah.
So like to personally see your growth, it has been like, I feel like proud as if it's me, you know? So what do you think your biggest moment of 2021 was as the artist
Um
Fresco Philippe?
my biggest moment, it's hard to say because like I feel like everything like I've gotten to the point where I feel like everything that happens is like what's supposed to happen, like for me to be on the pathway that I need to be on. So I've like learned to appreciate the little moments or the negative moments because it's gonna push me in the direction that I need to go. Um, but like anytime I've performed, I feel like those have been like the moments where people get to see like my potential and what I could be and like get to imagine like even though it's you know like 40 50 people like get to imagine what it would be like if it was like 10,000 people, you know what I'm saying, like oh this is what it would be like to see like my dude like out there like in front of people and performing and stuff like that. And like I'm still like trying to get comfortable on stage and stuff, so it's like it's still like super exciting and nerve-wracking and stuff like that every time. So it's like this big climactic moment every time. So like if I try to think of particular moments, I would say it's like the performances. But like I said, I try to appreciate everything that happens.
Nice. How do you prepare for stage? Do you like meditate? Do you do like push-ups? You take a couple shots? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, definitely gotta get a little the the usual the crossfade that we talked about on the first episode. But yeah, I think what I've learned is like the more I rehearse and the more I know I have it, the more confident I could be with it. So when I'm up there, I'm not really like worried about am I gonna fuck it up. It's like I know I'm not gonna fuck it up. I've done this shit a million times. So now I can really like get into it and have fun. And like the times where I feel like I haven't done well enough is because I didn't prepare as much as I should have or as much as I wanted to.
Preparation is key for sure. I
Yeah.
know you really started to hone into your like Spanglish bag and like speaking more Spanish and stuff on tracks. Do you feel like that's elevated you ever since you've done that? Do you feel like you have a bigger fan base now? What has that done for you?
Yeah, well, I definitely feel like it's a appealing to a whole like different group of people maybe. And like there's people that only listen to Spanish music, you know what I'm saying? So like and then there's people that only listen to English music and then there's people that listen to both and like each subgroup has like artists that they listen to or like certain genres that they listen to. But I feel like I encompass all of it, and like I'm reaching out. It's like even if you look at like Hispanic kids in Gwinnett, like there's Hispanic kids in Gwinnett that only listen to like English trap shit, and like or like English like conscious rap. And then there's Hispanic kids in Gwinnett that only listen to like Spanish music. And then there's like that middle ground of us that like kind of try to get into everything. So and like I can think of a bunch of artists that are like Fresco in one way, but I can't think of anybody that's like me in all of those ways.
Mhm.
So I think that's cool. I think it's a dope representation. And like that's why the people that fuck with me, like it's still not a lot of people, you know. I'm still like I've still got a long ways to go, but the people that fuck with me like fuck with me heavy because they feel like I represent them and like I connect with them and shit. So like that's been the dopest part is to be like yo like people tell me like yo when you said this it was dope because it reminded me of this or like I remember us doing this, you know, growing up, and like now you're talking about it. That's just crazy. So like shit like that is fire. Like that's like the coolest part of it. It's like I'm telling our story and people like connect with it.
Yeah, there are a lot of lines where I'm like, you had a line about a Honda Civic and like riding around twerking. I was like, that was a Honda Civic.
Yeah, yeah,
So
man.
I relate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right. What do you have? Do you have any upcoming plans for 2022? Like, are things all already in motion, or what
Yeah.
would you like to accomplish in 2022?
So it's just like to continue to grow and like get better at all the things that I've been trying to get better at. There's a lot of aspects to becoming an artist outside of just making music. So like I'm trying to get better at each one of those aspects. I just dropped my first project, like pretty much just a collection of all the garage band and the process of me learning and everything like that. So it's a good snippet of where I was to start my career. So like definitely I want to continue to push that. I got some videos coming for that are getting edited and stuff. And then I'm working on the next thing, and like I kind of went through a cycle where I was busy promoting and doing concerts and stuff that I wasn't writing as much, but now I'm back in like my writing like creativity bag. So it's really cool to see like you learn something and then you take a little bit of time off, and then like you come back and it's like you kind of leveled up. It's kind of like when you like study and then you sleep and you wake up and like your brain processed it. So it's cool. I feel like I'm like on a completely different level, and like I'm really excited about the direction I'm going in.
I love it. Virgo, you have a
Awesome.
question?
What skill are you hoping to evolve in next year?
Well, like so part of it is like the marketing and like being able to like drop things more strategically where I'm getting the most out of the money that I put into it, and like the different things that I do. Um, um, I'm starting to learn producing, which is a whole completely different game. I got a homie Wilson that gifted me a very expensive keyboard. So I'm gonna start working on that. I've been working on my mixing. I went from GarageBand to Pro Tools, like everything is just like a new challenge. Like you level up and it's just like it's that doesn't mean that you made it. It means that like you get another level of challenges. So like yeah, I'm trying to get good at all that stuff, get better at all that stuff. I'm a year into it now. I understand it a lot better than I understood it when I first started doing it. So now it's just like the grind and understand that you got to learn every day and you got to put in work every day. You always got to be networking, always got to be marketing, always got to be doing all this stuff. So that's what I'm on, and like trying to like save up money to be able to invest it into the career, you know. So that's
I
what it is.
think
I feel
I
that.
think networking is the hardest thing for me because like I'm a people person, but I don't like people.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
I'm
Yeah.
the same way.
And having and like I'm shy, but not really. Like it's such a strange space to be in. So like you have to talk to people and you have to try to meet and
Hmm.
rub shoulders with other people in the industry, but it's awkward for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like
feel
it's
that.
a lot of the people like you meet them and you're like, fuck man, I don't like this person, but I know that they're this like certain like producer or they're friends with this guy or whatever, and you kind of gotta be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, love your stuff, you know? And then it's like, you're like I would normally never chill with this person. And that's been the hardest part for me. Like, it's like when I feel that way, I just am like, no, I'm not doing this, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, like there will be other producers, there will be other like industry people. Like, it'll be fine. I don't have to like get into that fake shit because that, bro, like emotionally and mentally, like everything that you do is very taxing, so you gotta
Mhm.
protect your energy. Shout out Tommy. You gotta protect your energy at all costs.
Facts.
No, I agree with that.
Do you feel like since your growth, and this might be a personal question, but has there been people that you started your journey with that aren't necessarily with you anymore?
Yeah, definitely. Like when you start dedicating time to yourself and stop dedicating time to other people, there's people that don't understand that and they don't want you to win as bad as you thought that they did.
Mhm.
So the like they take it to offense. It's like, no, he owes me his time. He doesn't owe it to himself. And like those people start to fall off, and you start realizing like, hey, like all of these people, I was putting all of this extra effort into like keeping these relationships, but as soon as I stop and start focusing on myself, like those people fall off. And then the people that stick on and check up on you and like are interested in where you're going and what you're doing, like you learn to appreciate them a lot more, so your circle gets smaller but like way more genuine. um so it's dope. Like I feel like the value of relationships that I have right now, like the few relationships that I have, are very valuable to me. But like the quantity of meaningful relationships is a lot smaller.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell me, who does Fresco Phillipe see himself working with next year in 2022?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I can say who. There's a lot of people that I would love to work with, and a lot of people that would be like excited for the opportunity to work with, and a lot of people that I'm in talks with and stuff. But I just don't want to like throw out any names and then something like fall through or anything like that. Like nothing is all the way done or like concrete yet. So definitely like another level of features and people who are like very ingrained like in the know and like in Atlanta in general, but like also looking to international level and like a like I don't know, full like United States level, you know what I'm saying? Like people from outside of the local area. So I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, exciting stuff.
I'm excited for you, man.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
Likewise, likewise.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
I think unless any of my other fellow co-hosts have any final questions, I would ask one last thing for you, Fresco, is who is Fresco Phillipe in 2022?
Fresco Phillipe in 2022 is still the same Fresco Phillipe from 2021 and 2020. He's
He
just
has a
working on
mullet
different
now.
stuff. Yeah, the mullet, man. That's the
The mullet, come on.
yeah.
Mullet
I
that
don't know if you
shoulders,
guys
yeah.
know this Spanish band called Los Tigres del Norte. But the lead singer, man, he had this glorious mullet, and I'm like, yo, like I gotta do that shit. And then like so I
Called
started.
it glorious. I have to look up this band.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I don't even know how to spell
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and their music is fire too. Like I know a lot of people that don't speak Spanish that fuck with them. But yeah, so and like so like I'm from the north, like in Mexico, and I'm from the north in Atlanta. So then like I started calling myself El Tigre del Norte. And like now I got the mullet going and shit. So it's like I'm building this whole little like persona, but it's like myself. Like it's all
Yeah.
based off of things from like myself and my life. So it's dope, man. It's cool. I'm really getting to put like myself out there, my personality out there, and like I like it, you know. Like I'm learning to love everything that I am, and like I think people see that.
That's what's up.
Solid. Solid, brother. I
That's
love
awesome.
it. I love it, man. So definitely, man, listen, we always appreciate you for coming through, man. It's great to just have you back on, chop it up with you. You know, and real quick, man, just outside of, Fresco Phillipe, the artist, real quick, man, who would you say or what would you say musically was your most standout moment of this year? It could be an album that came out, it could be someone who left us in this year. What was a significant moment to you personally in music culture for this year?
What Draco the Ruler, R.I.P. That was really crazy for me. Just because like now being an artist, seeing artists go, you always look at how old they were, like where they were in their life. Like Draco had just gotten out of fucking prison, and like he put in his time and he got out, and he was starting to put in work and like reap the benefits of everything that he had gone through. And then like for him to be out like 2 years or something like that, and now be gone is crazy. And it just like makes you reflect. But I would have to say like it would be hard to say anything but like Donda CLB, like the lead up to that, the all of the shows that Kanye had, the like the fucking album cover for Drake, like that whole thing was like everybody was talking about it. Like while that was happening, that like controlled like everything that was going on. And it was like throughout the pandemic, so like everybody was paying attention. Like that shit, it was just I don't know. I feel like when we look back, like at the year musically, like, we'll be like, oh yeah, that's when like Donda CLB happened, and we were all talking about what was better and this and that, and like um. So yeah, so I feel like, and it's a good definition of like the times we're in and the fucking like what it's like to live in this era, like everything that happened, all the memes and shit like that, and how it went down. Like, it's very much a fucking pandemic era type situation.
Most
Mm,
definitely.
that's dope.
I
That's
agree with
dope.
that. That was good.
Crazy, man. So definitely I would say Fresco Phillipe, man, we definitely right here on Pastor Ox, man. Always appreciate you. We always root for your brother and your journey. We're looking forward to seeing what 2022 has in store for you and the growth that comes for you in your artistry, my friend. And of course, the fans already know, man, we'll definitely have you back on in the near future so that they too can keep track of the journey of the man they call Fresco Phillipe. So, real quick, man, hey, tell the people where they can find you, man. Go ahead and start following you already in this journey so that going into 2022, it's a whole new following of followers.
Can
Yeah,
we take this shot first to just
yeah,
congratulate
Sure.
all of your success in 2021 and your future success in 2022?
Let's
Shots
thank
of
do it.
whatever you have at home. Cheers.
you.
Cheers. Let's do it.
I love it how we tap the table still.
Got to kosher.
No doubt. No doubt, man. No doubt. Like,
But yeah, so Instagram, it's at fresco.philippe. TikTok is like what I'm trying to grow now. It's the platform of right now, you know what I'm saying? So TikTok is at Fresco Phillipe straight through. Glad that to Gust, my first ever project of any kind, is out on all platforms. So go stream that. Like throw that shit on repeat. Like if you fuck with me in any way, like at night, throw that shit on repeat, turn the volume all the way down and like just like run my plays up. And then in the morning, listen to it one time with the volume up.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And yeah, man, I think like that's as a fucking independent artist coming up on his own, like all that little stuff like helps. Like if everybody did that, like if all of my followers did that shit for a month, like I would be there, I would have made it already. So it's just trying to like build a movement and get people like invested into it and like doing it genuinely, like having people fucking invested to you because they know that you're gonna like fucking put on for them. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what I want to put out there.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Let's do it, man. So, hey, y'all already know, man, this is a part where we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna kind of just recap 2021 musically as best as we can for y'all. Because we know what heck of a year, man. And well, hey, what better way than to come up with some categories? So get into some cool categories. All right. So I think it's pretty obvious. We can start with the number one thing is that we had a lot of dope artists dropping a lot of content within this year for sure. Now, I don't know if it was maybe because of all that went through in 2020. Don't know. Maybe it was just artists who already, even before all of what went down in 2020, just said, hey, 2021, regardless, y'all about to get this work, literally. So, real quick, y'all, if y'all have a top 5 of the most memorable albums that you can think of within this year, let's go around the room, man. Tell me what y'all feel. What album stood out to you the most in this entire year of 2021?
Reckon me first, because okay. I'm gonna go with Nas, King's Disease 2.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with Tyler the Creator. I'm gonna go with Wale. I want to go with Baby Keem. Baby Keem.
Oh,
fire as fuck.
That's one I forgot. Okay.
I want to say Hotels by Jasmine Sullivan. I don't know if that was an album, if that was a project or what it was, but it was just really refreshing and exciting to hear her come back.
Yeah. That was this year?
Mm-hmm. That was like the beginning, the top of the year. So yeah, it seems like a long time ago, but it really. And then Thames, If Orange Was a Place. Thames is a Nigerian artist. Voice is spectacular. She's a vibe.
I love it.
You just messed me up. Because I didn't realize Jasmine.
Oh, Donda. Sorry, Donda too. Donda was fucking
really
album of the year for me.
Really?
Yeah. I agree with Felipe. Like that was what was going to be my answer. Cause like another question that we're going to bring up, I know that I'm all over the place, but is like memorable music moments. And like he said, the build up to CLB versus Donda, like everybody was waiting. And I feel like when I heard Donda, it was more refreshing and it was new and it wasn't expected. And he was able to give us like gospel, but make it like street and like have our favorite artists on there, kind of giving us an insight to a side of that artist you may not necessarily get all the time. And CLB was good. Like Drake is never bad. It's always a vibe, but it was kind of predictable, So in that war, in that verses, it was Donda for me.
That's interesting.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Alright.
I really have to use the bathroom real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Please go potty.
By all means, take that.
We're just kind
Brother
of winging
Derek's
it
like, what the?
tonight. It's fine.
What the? Hey, I love it. I love it, man.
Oh
love it.
God! All right, so I haven't heard that phrase in a while.
You know,
So all right, so I have the off season. J. Cole, of course.
Of course.
sure.
But I mean, it is what it is. So the off season, Silk Sonic, Falarin 2, King's Disease 2, and I actually have CLB above Donda. I I love the production of Donda, but it I'm still not feeling it. I'm still not
You're
feeling
breaking my heart, Derrick.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you actually kind of messed me up because Hotels, I thought that was last year. That's it just kind of like goes to show how like fast this year was, but then also slow at the same time. Because like I really thought that was last year. So I would like to put that in my top 5, but I have my 5 already, so I'm gonna say that's on the outside looking in, but it's right there. I just dang, I really
It's
want to put
hard
that
to
in my
do
top
top 5 of anything.
It really
You
is.
gotta
It
throw
really
out-
is.
It is, and it's
Yeah.
and I had to keep it at a 5 mark. I know, because it's albums, y'all, and I know we're in a phase of time where albums aren't necessarily as appreciated these days because of singles, and we're in a singles kind of world.
Yeah,
Which is why I didn't want to go top 10 for y'all. I didn't want to go top 10 for y'all because of that reason. Because I know we also have playlists, we have singles, we have EPs, all of that. So I wanted to go top 5 because of that.
Speaking of that though, like Big Sean's hold up. I forgot what the name of that project was that he just dropped. I thought that was an EP, but I think it's an album that he did with Hit Boy. I was just looking at it. Jesus. What you expect with Hit Boy? I thought that was an EP, but they're classifying it as an album. So I would like to put that there too, but it's only 6 tracks on there. So I don't want to dock him for 6 tracks, but he's coming out with a new album next year, so to me that's already going to be in the top 5 for next year. I already know that.
And question, and since we're here, we're talking about independent artists, we would be trash if we did not bring up our very own Highlight Life and the release of Sally B. Fry. Was that an album or that's a EP or LP? I don't know the terms. I just listen to the damn song.
You know what? Yeah, that definitely is an album. That was definitely an album for sure. You know what? Yeah. I actually did. I see what you did mean. I actually was going to put that album in my personal top, not even off of a confidence thing, but just because I know the work ethic I really put into that, making that album 4 or 5 years ago, and really trying to piece it together and like really try to figure out how this could all make the vision that I had of 21 and the significance of it and everything like that. So it really did fit this category, which to me, I definitely had to put that in. You could almost do this separately because, I'm still independent. So, I mean, you could almost do the whole independent versus mainstream thing. But, definitely in my mind, definitely I feel like based off reaction that I got from it from you guys and a lot of people outside of my circle and even people who didn't even know I did music that heard it, that album definitely has gotten so much titles of, man, that's the best work you've put out to date. So I had to, by standards of what people have said, put that in my own head of like top 5 for sure. But I'm liking these lists so far. You guys are coming out pretty dope right now. If I didn't mention that one, I would say definitely off season for sure. Did give a lot of dope vibes on its reaction. I felt like, believe it or not, felt like Migos with Culture 2 actually came pretty
Yes, how
strong.
dare I
I
forget
forgot all
Culture
about
2?
that.
I'm not gonna lie, it hit pretty strong. I was
Yes.
surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised for that to have been a Migos album. I knew they were known. I mean, you can argue. If you're a hardcore Migos fan, you can argue on which Culture of the 3 because this is the 3rd installment. So you can argue and say, oh, 1 was better or 2 was better, but low key, honestly, just looking at some of the features they had, different things like that. Honestly, I felt like that album definitely surprised me in how nice it and well it felt. It felt more like a mature Migos album to me personally, like out of the 3 they've had. But I mean, it's yeah, definitely one I had to put in there. Um, Believe it or not, this doesn't get talked about as much, but my homie Big Crit actually dropped an album this year called A Style Not Quite Free. But the thing is, it's a little tricky because he actually said this technically isn't really an album, but it is, but it's not because it was more so freestyles that he had and different producers just built stuff around what he had a cappella and created this album. But it wasn't really like an official album. So really, essentially, he was kind of doing this for more of his fans as he was celebrating the fact that a lot of his classic mixtapes are now streaming on all platforms. So this was kind of like a bonus for that. So in all honesty, I kind of just honorably mention it, but I can't put it in the top because he out of his own words said it's not technically an album, but does inside and make it known that come 2022, there's an album coming. So
I'm
definitely excited.
How is that not an album?
Because it's really throwaways, is what it is. These are throwaway freestyles that are
throwaways, but it's still an album.
Well, not quite. These are throwaway acapella freestyles that different producers he worked with built something around in a form. So like
It's
not a concise
album.
story.
It's an album.
Pretty much like as you said, it's not like there's no true story or anything behind this. This is just again for fans more so to enjoy because it's stuff of his they haven't heard before.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's
what, like defines it as a mixtape is like you're like putting songs together from like shit that you have to make a tape to like show your stuff versus an album is a project that you make with the intention of making like a singular project with like a theme and like you like the tracks like work together in a certain like thing, whereas a mixtape you're just kind of putting songs together just like Wayne would do the tape song like everybody else's beats and shit like that. Like, and it's funny because at one point I looked up the definition too to be like because I was like I'm making sure I want to make sure that this is not an album. Like I want my first album to be yeah and again I get it, Derrick. I know that it can be confusing from artist perspective when it's like when we say this isn't an album but this is an album, that's an EP, that's a mixtape. It's because it's so many different ways of explaining it. Albums are actually a movie in a sense in audio form. It has to make sense with each song that tells the story of what it is. For me, with Sally B. Fry, like as Janean asked, yes, that's an album because it's literally all those songs from start to finish are to describe everything that leads up to who my grandmother was and what it was like growing up with her, growing up around her, the culture of Memphis, different things like that. A mixtape though is shoot, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
I mean,
And
yeah,
whoever's beating, whatever, just for my fans, just so they can enjoy this and have this until I do drop the real project.
yeah, but I mean, I think. See, I think this is where it kind of is kind of confusing too, because I think even with mixtapes, you can tell a story.
You kind of can. It
Because
depends on
J.
this
Cole,
artist talking about.
J. Cole, like for example, with his mixtapes, they all told a story of his childhood.
True, but that's J. Cole. Lil Wayne doesn't tell stories with his mixtapes. He just
So
raps
so
because he can
it's
rap.
so that it's more
I
so
think
about the artist then.
I and part of it is like sometimes you're telling a story just by virtue of like you made all of these songs during a certain part of your life and they're gonna have a common theme because that's where you're at. Like I feel like I didn't purposely have a theme for my tape, but there is a common theme between a lot of the songs and like where I'm at in my life and like like what I wanted to portray for myself as an artist. So like I think you can have a theme just like because it happens naturally, but I think in an album like the whole thing like you're making it with the intention of like okay, it's going to be this whole thing is going to be this and like the songs I'm going to do them this way and like the beats I'm going to choose them this way like Donda has a theme. I feel like CLB I feel like has a theme that you kind of like go through and it takes you and like you could tell it's very carefully curated. Like this song is gonna come after this song, and like the mood of it is gonna, shift like this. Whereas like a mixtape in theory should be like just like a collection of like random songs. But yeah, like you said, the artist a lot of times just is deciding like how they interpret it like for their own benefit and for like the things that they want to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, even Chance the Rapper did it with his.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He still told a story with his. I thought that was very well done. You
Yeah.
know, so I
Oh
guess
yeah.
it really depends on the artist itself, though.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
facts. Big facts. Um, but yeah, no. Definitely if I was saying top five, it was just like, definitely off season. I felt like Culture 3 definitely hit different in its own little way. King's Disease 2 definitely for me for sure because Nas just continues to show you that he's a lyrical genius in his own right with what he was able to do.
Mhm.
Um, Honestly, for me, I am gonna say Donda over CLB after finally processing it enough because Donda now continues to just
Very
randomly
exciting.
have songs pop in my head. It's for me, it's a whatever pops in my head factor, and I've had
Yeah,
random occasions where Donda songs pop up in my head every day, almost every different one, and I don't listen to the album every day. It's just randomly there's a Donda song popping up in my head. Not one CLB song is just randomly, except for which might get argued in something that's in our most overplayed song category, which we'll get to. But yeah, aside from that one song, I think y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't really have a lot of CLB songs just still stuck in my head. Even J. Cole's off season still has songs that are stuck in my head. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think CLB did enough to really just have a longevity factor. I feel like you'll forget about it probably either when the next Drake album comes out or shoot, just depending on how you feel about it. But it was big for what it was with this year since it did release the same time frame of when Donda did. So I feel like for that reason, it's kind of like how 50 Cent and Kanye's graduation was that year. They both came out the same time frame. And that was like, oh, whoa, let's compete. So
that's so interesting to hear because
yeah.
like CLB was to me was Drake's best album since 2015.
Wow. That's
That was that was
big.
that was his best album that he's done since 2015. So I
That's
don't.
big.
I mean,
I
the
never
other.
thought I would hear that.
Well,
That's big.
like I like Views, More Life. What was the other one? Scorpion. They had nice tracks, but I mean, as a
Dark
complete
Wine
project,
tapes.
yeah, it wasn't good. Like those weren't good. Like as a complete arts of work. CLB got back onto the track of where he was in 2015 and before. So, I, yeah, I don't know where Kanye's going.
What I love about Kanye is like not no one album sounds like the last. Like every
Right,
project is
right.
completely different. You don't know what's coming. It's always exciting. Production is top tier. Um, Drake is gonna be Drake. It's
Mhm,
gonna slap. It's gonna ride. It's gonna have quotables,
Yeah.
but you
mhm.
kind of know what's happening.
Do you think we finally get the Kanye produced Drake album?
Maybe because they
Since they,
had the meetup with
yeah,
Jay Prince
yeah.
inside them bad jeans. So I mean, whenever
He
he's
basically
present
told
with
those
the
guys
bad
play
jeans
nice.
on, anything's possible.
They've had
Anything is possible.
they've done that shit so many times, bro, and like always immediately after. Like it's just like
Yeah,
these guys are just like children, bro. Like this shit is hilarious. Did anybody mention Punk by Young Thug?
I don't think so. I don't think a young
yeah.
thug. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, and I feel like it's very underrated. And like what put me onto it. Y'all remember the like video that was going around of like Young Thug doing the live performance of that one song, that don't hate me, hate the game, baby. Like where there's the rock buildup. So that's a whole tiny desk that he did with a live band, and that shit is crazy. So then that put me onto the album when it dropped, Punk, and it's so good and it's very ahead of its time. I think it's like Young Thug has done a really good job of tapping into what's next in hip hop and like putting his like classic twist and like genius on it. Like if you guys haven't heard that, I feel like that's a really good album and one of my favorites of the year. Um, but yeah, I just didn't know if anybody had mentioned that because I mean it's Atlanta and it's Thug.
That's truth.
How
That's
dare we
true.
forget?
How dare we forget? I love it. I love it. Listen. Well, fellas and lady, let's move on to another fun category, actually. Uh, I would like to ask you guys, what do you feel was the most overplayed and overhyped song of 2021?
Mm,
Anything on TikTok is overplayed because of these damn dance challenges. I would say Silk Sonic's singles were overplayed. Not that it was overhyped, but it was overplayed just because they were releasing like the one or two singles before the actual project dropped. And I said this on a previous episode where like I was tired of hearing uh
Leave the
I'm gonna
door open.
leave the door open. Like I was over it. Like I've heard it a million and one times. I've seen the video a trillion times. Like I'm over it. But once the album came out and I heard the whole project, I loved it again.
Mhm.
Mm.
But yeah, they played the hell out of those singles.
Yeah. I think Up by Cardi B was just like that's still being run into the ground. So I can't see you threw in overhyped. I don't think it was overhyped. I think it was just overplayed. Um, I don't
Maybe
even
I
know
shouldn't
about
have said the
overhyped.
overhyped.
Yeah.
Pardon me in that actual question. More so, let's
Okay.
just take overhyped out of that, but definitely most overplayed song
Yeah.
to you in
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
You
Up.
know, you know what song I really got tired of? Actually, like got tired of is the Industry Baby song.
Yes.
And what bothers me about that song so much is the beat is so dope. And like the melody for the beat is so dope. And then like Lil Nas just added words to the same melody. And like that bothers me so much because I feel like it takes away from the beat and like you're not being creative and like because like usually you get a melody for the beat and you have your own melody for your cadence of like whatever you're singing or rapping. And like I feel like it's just like he's just gonna like I told you long ago, and it's like you could literally just play the beat and it does the same thing. Like nobody really is like resonating with the words for that fucking hook. It's just like mm, 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 mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
catchy as
like
hell.
everybody loves it. Yeah, by itself. So that's what bothers. Like it bothers me technically, and then the fact that it's played so much. Every time I hear it, I'm like, God, like you had a fucking hit on your hands that you could have done whatever you wanted with it, and you just fucking went like basic as fuck on it.
I
Do
So
you
get it.
think
I agree
do
with
you
that.
think that he's gonna be able to follow up with like a dope sophomore album? Because like his first album was good. I wouldn't say this in my top five, but it was a good album.
I think when you reach that level of influence and like money behind you, you're always gonna drop something decent because you're putting all the like top heads of the music industry in a room to create you like amazing songs. So it's always gonna be at least all right, you know. But I just think uh he's played out his like introduction and like the I guess like the like wow factor of it is kind of gone now. So it's like now you're relying on like skill and talent and creativity, and I just don't think that it's there for him. Where like I don't know, I might be missing out, or I might be getting like drowned out by the fact that you're in the industry now and you have all of these people kind of diluting your shit. But to me, it sounded like he got big off like a catchy pop type song, and like everything that we know of him is like a catchy pop type song. So it's just like for me, it's just like I don't know, it's boring. Like when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh, like this is like a fucking AI generated ass song, you know?
It's like
So
bubblegum pop.
yeah, yeah. So it's like it is what it is. Like really, like Jack Harlow's verse on that song was the highlight of that song, man. Like he went crazy. He said, "Left my handprint on her ass cheek." That shit went crazy.
For that to be
Oh,
your standout verse is hilarious. Your standout line.
yeah,
oh my
you know,
gosh.
you're painting a picture of a situation.
Come
Very
on.
good
Come on.
achievement.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. For me, I'm probably gonna say honestly, and I feel like had this album probably come out maybe even earlier in the year, would have been overplayed more than what it was. But for that to have come out when that album did, it definitely they played the mess out of that song for sure. And I knew they were gonna do that because I don't even think he was pushing it before that album dropped. I think they didn't start pushing it until this album dropped. But way too sexy, man. They wore that doggone song out. And still wearing it as much as you can. I'm
Yeah.
hearing it literally every time I turn around. Basketball games, commercials, like it's everywhere. And I'm just like, man, okay, enough's enough on that. But I was like, hey, it's a Drake song. What do you expect?
I was about
You
to
know,
say
there's
it's
always that
Drake.
one. That,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, they're
Crazy.
gonna always try to find that one to overplay. So you knew
I never listen to the radio unless it's like sports radio. So sometimes like I'll hit like FM to get to the sports radio station, and like a hip hop station will be on, and fucking Way Too Sexy is always playing. Like when it like no matter like 2 seconds that I'm on that radio station, like Way Too Sexy is playing. And it's like to me, it was like one of the worst songs on the album. Like I have so many more songs that like I feel like No Friends in the Industry is like my favorite song on CLB. And I'm like, fuck, like that shit never got played. Like that shit, like it's like a fucking like it could have been a club banger if it got pushed like that. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's the type of shit that like people want to like yell at the club and like point at somebody and shit like from the section.
Point at somebody.
yeah, yeah, you know, you just
Y'all
knew.
miss radio at all? Because I think that like radio growing up, it was like a gamble, or it was exciting to try to find the song you liked actually playing. Like you didn't have music at your fingertips so easily. And then it became this thing of where you got annoyed by radio because it was the same songs playing over and over again.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes I miss the excitement of, swapping between four different radio stations, trying to find the one song and trying to figure out what the song title is so that you can download it off a LimeWire and fuck up your computer.
Legit. Real talk.
Those are the days, man.
They don't do them like they used to, man. That was yeah.
Record cassettes on the radio. Like when your song would come on, like you could have a set in the thing and you hit record.
The original mixtape, baby.
Yeah.
That's the original mixtape.
Oh,
you already know.
Yo, when you heard them mixing the song in and you hit record immediately and you got that intro to the song, that shit was priceless, bro. I would hate it.
Yeah.
I would hate it when I was coming home and we would hear a song coming on in the car and I'm like, fuck, let me get inside. And I hit record and I miss like the first 20 seconds. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, you just get mad.
Yellow light, mom.
A lot of people really don't know that really is the literal original mixtape because of the fact that even artists admit they used to take a song like that just to record it and then mute out the vocals so they could take the instrumental and rap their own verse over it. So it's amazing what you could do with a cassette back then, you know. But yeah, no, to answer your question, cuz you do kind of miss that from time to time until, like you said, you got old enough and realized they just play the same old stuff. Hence why this category was born, because even without radio, you still find ways through placements and everything else to hear a song a million gazillion times. So that being said, now I have one question for you guys. Now, we all have Instagrams. We all have Twitters, Facebooks, TikToks, all of these little social media sites. So I have to ask you guys, especially to the artists in the room, what is the most played? I tell you, let me word this the right way. What's the one instrumental that you guys have heard artists freestyle over mostly throughout 2021? Because there's always that time where you have a song and everybody just decides they want to do a freestyle to that one song because that beat is so hard. For example, I'll go first and say that Lemon Pepper freestyle from Drake off Scary Hours. You know how many times I heard an artist say, I'm gonna freestyle to that because that beat is so dope.
That's
exactly.
I heard Lemon Peppers, bro. Like some of my artist friends did Lemon Pepper freestyle, so like that is very accurate.
Yeah. Like it's every year you have that one song, and there's multiple. Because another one I could say, shout out to them Christian hip hop rappers out there. Drake, you gonna love this one, Derrick. That Pride is the Devil beat got worn the heck out by so many artists who wanted to say, "Oh my God, I love that song. I want to do something to that." J. Cole, you were on to something. Pride is the devil. You right. Let me freestyle to that real quick. And
I didn't hear that because
I know, me either, but it's just from what I've heard in the streets.
Yeah.
Apparently, when that song came out from that album, everybody and their mama just wanted to do it. I heard one freestyle to it, but everybody else, I can't say. I didn't realize so many artists apparently love that instrumental that much to freestyle. So
that lemon pepper. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
I didn't have an answer for that, but that makes sense. I think drill became really big or like popular in 2021, and the thing is, they all sound the same. So every drill song, I'm like, oh, this is the same beat.
Yeah. I agree.
It goes off. I love it. It feels good, but it's the same shit. Just different people rapping over it.
I totally agree. You can't even get mad at that. Like, that's completely accurate.
I will say that there's an R&B song. She killed it, and I want to find it. Where she's singing over a drill beat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. Nyjah, ease my mind. Beautiful. So if you haven't heard it yet, listen to that. Yeah, it's R&B drill.
I've heard of her, but I never like listened to her music like that. I think I've heard like a couple of tracks, but I didn't do a deep dive on her. But I'll do that.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next category for you guys real quick. We only got a couple left for y'all before we call this thing a show. But with this one, I gotta ask, 2021 again has been one of those years where it was a lot of ups, a lot of downs, in betweens, especially in the world of music. So I have to ask you guys and open the floor to ask, what is the most memorable musical moment that you remember from this year?
Everything Ye did leading up to Donda, he had a studio apartment in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like that shit is fire. And the fact that he basically had like a blind listening party in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is like, and people showed out and showed up more than once. I think that was big. And even his like drink champs episode, like just seeing that side of Ye,
Yeah.
and just seeing him that happy and that carefree and just talking his shit, and like he drank and he smoked, and it was like it was just, he had moments this year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think for me it was Drake pulling out the Grammys because
Mm.
I don't think that I don't think that was really talked about enough. It was like it was mentioned, but then it was like kind of like people just kind of like, you know, rush by it like a day or two after. For him to pull out from the Grammys, I think that's gonna spark this whole movement. And I've you've heard me compare him to LeBron, like he's the LeBron of hip hop,
Mhm.
right? I think him doing that is as big as LeBron going down to Miami because that altered the landscape of the game, right? Now you got players that, you know, um since that point that take their own careers into their hands and go where they want to go. And I think that this is going to have a similar effect to where moving forward, we're going to start seeing more artists pull out of Grammy considerations um, to get the recognition that, you know, they want for other artists and other contributors. So I think that's just as big.
I have a question about the Grammys, right? Because like we say, as people of color and like hip hop artists and fans of hip
Hmm.
hop and R&B, et cetera, like we feel like those award shows really aren't meant for us. But as an artist, like you do want those accolades and those like awards to show like you have reached a certain level of success. So if we all start pulling out of the we, as if I'm an artist, but if everybody starts like pulling out of the Grammys, like what is our plan B? Because no one takes like an MTV award seriously, no one takes the BET award seriously. Like are we still looking for awards, or do we think that culture is over?
I think those days are gone. Like because prior to the streaming industry, honestly, coming into play, that had more of a, especially like in the movie industry, right? Like getting an Oscar and all that stuff, like that meant something to be nominated. You know, it put you in a higher category. Now all of a sudden you have artists that can go direct to consumer. You don't need the middleman for the most part um to do anything. So I don't know that it holds the same weight. I'm pretty sure it's nice to have the recognition, um but I don't think it has the same weight. Bless you, man. I don't think it does, because I think that you have artists that are able to be independent artists that just care about now in this generation, that just care about being able to get their work out, make the best quality that they can make, and get it to their fans, and not really worry about the other stuff. They just want to create, and I think that's more so the emphasis that they're trying to impose than the awards. Who watches an award ceremony? When's the last time you watched an award ceremony?
I watch clips on Facebook.
Yeah, you don't
Um
watch the whole thing, right?
no. So as independent artists, Highlight Reel and Fresco Phillipe, like are y'all like what is making it mean for y'all? Is it more so like Derrick said, having the direct to consumer relationship and like the live shows, or do you still feel like I want to have that hardware of a Grammy, Tony, whatever the awards are?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think anytime you decide to do this and you start dreaming about what it's gonna be like and what you'd like for your future, like obviously, man, I don't know if this is true for everybody, but it's like hella true for me that like I've practiced my first Grammy award speech, you know what I'm saying? And I've thought about those moments and what they would mean for me and what they would mean for my family, and more for like my family and like my parents, you know, to like I've already taken this fucking like very off the regular path kind of route for my life. So like for my parents to be able to say like my son won a Grammy and like find some like you know regular people's success, like for us artists, yeah, like this stuff is cool and we value these kind of things, but we also like value like our families pride and like people like caring about us and seeing that we've done something for ourselves. So it's like we don't have diplomas that we can show for our art, and we don't have, you know, promotions that we can show and have parties for. So whenever there is a moment where you can, you know, receive an accolade or like somebody tell you you're doing a good job, like I feel like it's important to appreciate those. And like, yeah, like we understand that like a lot of it is like an industry thing and like it's a lot of politics, but you know, like there's also other aspects of it, uh, there are some awards where you're like, yeah, they fucking deserve that shit, they had a great year. So I think like when you are going through that and you're having a great year and like you're finally having those moments, like it's gonna come in some way or another, and I feel like we should always be appreciative of that.
What is your first sentence of your Grammy speech?
Um, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. Like when you make a wish, if you
Right.
loud, it's not gonna come true. So I'm gonna say it. It's pretty good though.
I can't
It's
wait.
very
I dig,
deep.
I dig it, man. Honestly, man, I'm gonna probably go a little opposite from my boy Fresco, and just say that the more I think about it with awards, they, especially nowadays, they seem to feel like, in a basketball term, they seem like how when a basketball player like say Russell Westbrook is killing the game with so many different stats, all of a sudden they label you as like a stat stuffer. Like, oh, he's just in the game just to fill his stats up so that he can definitely get that Hall of Fame status or just have crazy stats. It's almost like awards these days come off in the sense of like, oh, that's just my stat stuff of showing like my music resume off. Like, yeah, you know, 5-time Grammy Award winner, multi-platinum selling, this, that, you know, and it just after a while you're like, I really don't necessarily need that to showcase in a humble way how successful my career is. But to also agree with Fresco though, in terms of like for the down to earth person, when you got family back home, where you know where you come from, and you got a city or a community of people that's proud of you regardless of where you hit a status at. If you get that Grammy or you get that BET award or whatever other awards you want to throw out there, and you know, as he said, you know, you had one heck of a year, you grinded your tail off to where it got that recognition, and you know, you holding that up high, like, yo, this for the city or this for the community, you know, like shout out to my family, man, being with me day one when we was in the studio day and night, putting in that work, and this was the result, you know. But after a while, man, if you on the level of a Drake or a Kanye or a Jay-Z or you name it, after a while, it almost seems like it's just bored. You know, you're like, Oh, again? Cool. Hey guys. Yeah. Oh, cool. We got another one? Cool. You know, it's not something I would aim to go after per se, just to be having up in the back. Like sure, if you see a Oscar back here one day chilling, all right, cool. If you see a Grammy over here chilling, if you see all these awards, cool. But it's not something I just look at and say like, hey man, I need that. Like it's no longer to me the goal of anything. It's more so just continuing to, I feel like the overall success of your community is like the number one winner when you see how much you've elevated and how many people are behind you and what you do, and you can keep showing them your success and your progress. It just is better than any award could ever really be. You know, the streets are the award to me, man. You know what I mean? When Highlight Real drop an album and the streets out there talking about it, sharing it with friends, like proud of it, like, yo, man, our guy put this out. Like, bruh, I don't care about who else put out this album and that album. Like, to me, this right here, album of the year. To me, this right here, single of the year. To me, this right here, XYZ, is better than any award could ever really prove. You know what I mean? And I think even Drake might have said that at one point in time when the Grammys tried to cut him off and was like, you don't even really need this. This ain't something you need to showcase who you are, what you've done, this and that. Like, it's a prop. You know what I'm saying? It's a prop.
Yeah. No, I think that it's okay to like to want that recognition. I just don't think it's needed in this day and age because of technology. I don't think it's needed. I think that at one point it was almost like the record label. Like you needed the record label before. You don't need them anymore. Like it's not necessary. You can still blow up. Your music can still get hot if you have the right strategy as an independent artist. Um, like I, I don't see. I've never really cared like in the film industry aspect. I never really cared about if I won an Oscar or something. I don't care because all I know is that I want to if I can buy my parents a house, if I can afford to buy my parents a house where they want to be,
Where they want to actually be at.
yeah, and my family is set. To me, that's where I've won. Like the awards themselves. Like I don't care about awards. Like
Yeah.
I don't see me bragging about numbers anyway. Like
I'm
with our
pretty sure
shows.
the album of the year,
So,
the album of the year, you'll be able to buy your parents whatever house they want.
oh, I think I'll do it before that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then too, like I think, like Dwayne said, when you reach like a Drake, Beyonce, Jay-Z status, like it's like, oh, another one. Yeah, you
Mhm.
feel that way because you've already won it, right? Like, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
sure before they actually reached that point, like that hardware meant something.
But think about
And I
it.
think,
Back then, it
yeah,
was needed back then. Like Jay-Z needed that recognition. Beyonce
yeah,
needed that recognition. Destiny's Child needed that recognition back then. That was early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s. It was needed. Now, uh,
Also, you gotta think it's not only for you. Like especially as minorities, like to see a black person win album of the year, not rap album of the year, not R&B or urban album of the year, but like music album of the year, or to see a Latin person, like for me, like it's been huge to see Bad Bunny and J Balvin and all of these guys start, like these are the biggest artists in the world as far as streams, and we're just now starting to get mentioned in those conversations. And no, it's not necessary, but it's also like if this conversation is being had, you have to include these people. So it's like for me as a up and coming artist, like that means a lot. So I imagine like when I get to that point, like being like one of the first Mexican artists to do it, I think it's gonna mean a lot to little Mexican kids that
mhm.
think, oh shit, like my fucking ceiling is no longer top Latin artist. Like I can be the number one artist in the world now. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So like I think in that way it's important for us to have representation and for us to have like people that are like us in those positions and winning those awards because somebody's gonna win them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let it be people that deserve it and let it be people because like yeah, like Drake and stuff like that, it gets boring, but also like we all think of Drake as the number one artist in the world or close to the number one artist in the world as far as success. And it's like like I am sure like people in fucking Toronto, like I'm sure there's people that hate him. Obviously, there's gonna be people that hate him, but like he's like the fucking president over there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure every time he reaches an accolade and stuff like that, like they're proud and like it means something to them. Just like when your country plays in the Olympics and it's like no matter how much you hate the politics and stuff like that, like you still want your country to win. So like I think that's where it's important, like where it's not so much for you but like for the people that you represent.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think it's see, I think part of me is kind of like pushes back a little bit because while I agree that the representation is important, I almost feel like it's over like it's almost forced at a point now where like it doesn't it feels like they're just trying to meet a quota in order to like shut us up about representation. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I honestly don't like I would rather us like get our own thing. I don't mind. I don't mind the recognition aspect, but I would rather us have like do our own thing and and then that's we make that on that level. I
I respect that.
you
Yeah,
know
I
I respect
understand.
that.
so
Well, definitely. I know we definitely had a fun conversation on that, but to categorize moments of the year or moment of the year for me, man, I have a couple that come to mind, so I'll probably just split them like this. Fresco brought up Bad Bunny actually. He actually does tie into one of my moments of the year for a lot of reasons because he's probably an artist that had one heck of a year in terms of musically and honestly as a wrestling fan he surprised a lot of us because he went on one of their biggest stages with absolutely no experience and put on one heck of a show literally by stepping in the ring and doing what they do on a 365 day a year basis. And
mhm.
this man has so much respect for what they do he actually earn the respect of every legit wrestling fan out there by putting on a show, literally. On top of that, only to then right after that go on one crazy tour because he did all of this in the midst of a pandemic
Mhm.
when WWE wasn't even really doing live shows yet. And that WrestleMania was like their first full fan show since all of this went down. So for him to come in front of millions of people no pressure, but pressure, and do that. And then, get ready for his big tour that he had right after that. I mean, that was a pretty dope moment um, just to see an artist, a Latin artist at that, just do his thing musically and go into a whole different world and earn respect in that world. And by being a fan himself, just win, man. You know, you winning when you can do something that you were a fan of while also doing something that you're known for and
Mhm.
truly succeeding. But my other major moments of this year is kind of split. It's involving two artists that are no longer here. One being Young Dolph and the other being DMX. Um, Still a moment that really is just so crazy to me, knowing that at the top of this year, right in February, just to see that X was just in this state and people were wondering and rooting and just like saying, man, I hope you push through. And you kept hearing so many different things, wondering like, what's really the truth? Like, is he gonna make it? Is he not? And to really finally officially find out that he just passes away is like, man, you know, one of the most iconic rappers in hip hop, man, that brought so much passion to the game. You know, to see him, you know, no longer with us, man, it's still just one of those crazy thoughts of just like, man, that happened right at the early peak of this year. And then with Dolph, for that to happen then like towards the fourth quarter of the year, where you're just like pushing through, and then you find out that news and you're like, man, in your own hood, man, right there in the local, you know, local store in your own hood, man, and just to still see a city in an uproar just from that noise, really signifies to me that 2021 was kind of crazy, man, just in terms of like, we had a lot of dope music moments, but we also lost a lot of people that was just like, yo, that was for the culture, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Most definitely. So, on a light note, man, that just leads me to one final subject matter for y'all, man, which is a fun one to think about because we've had a lot of these. It seems just about once, maybe twice a month. It just depended on, I guess you could say, how all this lined up. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, Swiss Beats and Timbaland made this nice little thing during a pandemic of 2020 that started catching on in its own way, and it just kind of evolved into a thing of its own. It's not really, I don't know if it was meant to turn into what it turned into, but this thing called Verzuz, where it went from being an IG live kind of thing to completely turn into a full-fledged concert, as we saw within this year alone. And it just continued to evolve in its own right. So I'm actually curious to know what you guys felt like was your personal versus battle, or maybe you have a second battle. It may be more than one for you, but what was a battle that really stuck out to you the most within this year? And I'm gonna remind you guys of a few of them just in case there was some that just didn't come to memory. So starting from the top of 21, you literally had Ashanti versus Keisha Cole. You had, let's see, Raekwon versus Ghostface for the true hip hop heads out there. Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers. You had Redman and Method Man. Redman versus Method Man for the New Yorkers out there, you know, of course. And you had, let's see, Eve versus Trina. Bow Wow versus Soulja Boy. Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown. You had the Lox versus Dipset with that also infamous Madison Square Garden, where you know who, known as Jadakiss, was the MVP, literally, of the night. You had Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane, Shaka Khan versus Stephanie Mills, and of course, the last one of the year, Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 666 Mafia. So, guys, which one probably stood out to y'all the most out of this entire year?
You named my two, Bow Wow versus Soulja. Soulja played the same song like 3 times, but it was fine.
More than 3.
And we were reminded that Bow Wow is a legend, regardless of the corny shit he does outside of music. Like, he's a legend. And Lox versus Dipset. I think that was New York, tri-state area equivalent to us being excited about Gucci and Jeezy. Like, the niggas was in the living room wearing Timbs and like the big studded belts, and like they was ready, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those were the 2 big ones for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just kidding. I was saying I hate New York so much.
As you should, sir.
As you should.
It's an Atlanta rivalry. I get it. I'm sorry for the New York listeners. I'm not a New York hater, but I'm saying Atlanta, New York, somehow y'all just got this rivalry. I get it. It is what it is.
Yet they both lose.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that. No,
Braves don't count. Braves don't count.
It do count. It's still a city and it's still a sport. Atlanta won. New York didn't win. Atlanta won. It counts. I don't want to. Sorry, it counts. It counts. It counts. It counts. Atlanta, stand up. You won a championship. It counts. Because
Yeah.
if the Yankees won, they'd be all on your face. So they won.
Yeah.
It counts.
I'm so
Sorry.
glad for Marietta.
Like New York taking credit for like stuff that their ancestors did and shit like that. Like you was alive when that shit was going on, bro. Like you lived in Gwinnett County since you were 4 years old, bro. Like stop.
Come on. Come on.
That's what bothers me so much. It's like, yeah, but in New York we did like, bro, shut up. You were 4. You wasn't doing that.
You're from here.
Yeah.
You're from Atlanta now.
Yeah. My favorite versus battle was the Isley Brothers versus the Earth, Wind, and Fire battle. That was my absolute favorite. The most entertaining one for me was Bow Wow Soldier Boy, just because Soldier Boy just like that dude, man.
He's an entertainer, man.
He's so entertaining.
He's gonna give us a show.
Yeah. So that was the most entertaining. But the Isley Brothers, I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't know that they had as many songs. Like you know the songs, but you didn't know it was them. You know what I'm saying? Like amazing. And I hope to look like Ron Isley when I turn 50. I'm getting a walking stick when I turn 50. That's my style. But,
I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah, so.
Wow. Okay, so I would say definitely, that Ozzy Brothers one was cool. The old head and having Pops old school and all that, man, that was definitely a cool one to reminisce on and see. But for me, my favorite one, as Neem mentioned, when you talk about Bow Wow getting respect, for me, my personal favorite, because I couldn't wait for the moment this man got one. And it may not have been the matchup most wanted, but doggone it, I was happy when I saw Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, because I was happy to see my boy Ja get that shine and reminding people of his time of hits and all that good stuff, because it's just so quickly to forget things with how time flies. And just like Bow Wow, regardless of the corniness, regardless of the memes, regardless of what you feel, who's real, who's not, whatever, it still to me was just really dope to just see him come out and, much like Soulja Boy, be an entertainer, be a show creator, remind people how he just loves to put on a show and can perform legit and just get people to do things. And, just seeing how, even though they real friends in real life, the fact they were just coming in so serious, trying to talk trash and just have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, John, where you been the last 20 years, man? Yesterday's price is not today's price. It's just, having fun with it. And then, of course, the Soulja Boy Bow Wow one, in unison like y'all was definitely dope to see from a nostalgic standpoint. I may not have liked either one of them back then, but just to go back and look at them and still just reminisce like, yeah, I'd much rather listen to this nowadays than what I hear. But you know what? It's cool. This was cool for what it was. I dig it. I respect it. Shout out to this was a dope one, man. This was a pretty dope one. And why not, man? Why not? But definitely the Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, man. And shout out to my boys 3-6, man, because hell, that was a fun one just off of the fact that they was able to take y'all down memory lane with so much. You bring freaking Terrence Howard out to do a song to flex. Why not?
Hilarious.
You bring Terrence Howard out, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring DJ out, man. You know what I mean? So when you bring DJ out, man, and he starts spitting on a little something for you and tell you what it is, man, when I whoop that trick, you know what I mean? Man, you just gotta do it. So, hey, Skin, I still wanna know what you did with my tape, Skin, so just, hey, just having fun with it, bro.
I gotta watch the movie again, man.
Y'all think what do y'all think about what Jay-Z said about his verses and how like nobody could stand on stage with him?
It's been a lot in that OTS group going on between Wayne and Jay-Z right now for some reason. So I don't know, man.
I feel like to me, like, and it might just be like like Jay-Z, I feel like was right before like the height of when I really started getting into music. Like when I got old enough to like really get into music, digest it and shit like that. And like Lil Wayne was like at the peak of that shit. Like when I started caring about like bars and wordplay and like fucking like metaphors and shit. That's when like Wheezy was talking all kinds of bullshit on like all of his mixtapes and all of this stuff and like memorable ass shit like that. Like still to this day, like I'll be like taking a shower, I'll be like paint your shirt and room like a Oklahoma Sooner, like just stuff that forever resonate in your head. So like to me, like if like Lil Wayne started playing like his shit and like Drake, I mean Jay-Z obviously like has his songs and he has like his fucking timeless like classics that are like Mount Rushmore hip hop songs and shit. Like I don't know, to me it just feels like if you played those songs like I feel like you're gonna have equal amount of like technical ability, but like I feel like you're gonna get more lit with the Lil Wayne song. So like I feel like for him to just sit, like act like there's nobody else that could even like get up there with them, I think is a little bold, especially like with the fact that I think if Lil Wayne got up there, I think he would wash him.
I think it would be a closer fight than what we give Jay credit for because we did a test run. Derrick doesn't count this as a fans battle, but we did Jay-Z versus Drake, and everybody's like, "Oh, Drake, hands down!" Like Drake has hits, but when you line up tracks correctly, you're reminded like Jay-Z is not one to play with. So even I think it would be a close battle, but it would be nice to remind folks like Jay-Z can stand with Wayne. But I would like to I think Wayne would be the only one outside of Drake maybe that could go up against him.
Drake is different too, because like I feel like you're just gonna evaluate songs completely different. Like if you put them side by side, it just depends on what you value in a song. And there's gonna be people like, no, like Hotline Bling is like it did more numbers than any Jay-Z song like will ever do type shit. And it's like, and then there's people that are like fucking like there's no Drake song that's touching H to the Izzo or like whatever. Like
H to this.
it really is hard. Like, bro, that's like one of the fucking best songs of all time. You know, like you think back and it just puts you in a fucking like MTV, like fucking I don't know, like era, like getting ready for school with the music videos in the morning and shit. And like, but so it's like when you're looking at like all time and like respect value and like ability and just like the shit that Jay-Z was doing in his time and like then you try to compare it to like the commercial reach of Drake and like the records that he broke and like his ability to stay at the top for so long. Like it's just you're comparing, it's almost like anything you compare to Drake is going to be apples to oranges because you're always going to be able to find like more talented or technically able artists, but you're never going to be able to find an artist that like did the numbers and accomplished the things that Drake is accomplishing even still to this day. So it's almost like unfair both ways because you're not respecting either one for their aspect of their greatness.
I think if you take in hip hop to the basics of what it is, Drake doesn't stand a chance against Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Lyricism,
put in
lyricism,
yeah, you have to put certain criteria.
lyricism, and that to me, when you like bring out old school, like captions versus lyrics, nah, nah.
Yeah,
What Drake does is like I respect Drake, but he's he's a captionist.
yeah.
He's a
Jay-Z is a lyricist.
Captionist. I've never heard that one before. That's new. I've never heard that before.
Hey, there
Added
you go.
to the OTS list of poems that we've created throughout the year.
There you
Let's
go.
go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about lyricism, it's about captionism. What do you got? You captionist or you a lyricist? Debate it. LTS style.
Can I make an IG post with this song? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Come on now.
I've been hearing a lot lately, like as I watch like podcasts like about the music industry and shit like that, it's like more and more artists talking about writing lyrics that people can use as captions as like a way to like fucking grow as an artist. So it's a real like strategy, you
It's a
know.
great strategy. It drives up numbers, but like if you're talking about like hip hop, like if you want to actually get back to to the basics
Mm.
when it's about lyrics, yeah,
We've
I
had
think I
this
think Wayne is the only
conversation.
one that could probably go against Jay-Z.
What is the versus? Like, is it usually? Do they have any criteria, or do they?
No, that's why fans is better.
Yeah.
I would. I don't think he would do it, but I honestly would put Kanye up against Jay-Z just because of the history of the two.
That's yeah.
You could
yeah,
easily,
yeah,
you can,
Kanye
you
too.
their
Kanye too.
repertoires are just. I mean,
But then if you're looking at it straight lyrically, like it's not close.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Kanye songs are more about like the song as a whole and like the production and like the vibe you're getting and the fucking like the whole like, theatrics behind every single song. There's so much more to Kanye than just the lyrics. So if you look at it lyrically, like Kanye is an average rapper, and Jay Z is one of the best to ever do it. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the
but
whole
on the same fry, based off of what versus battles usually are, what is Jay-Z outside of the lyricist? And who's the one that made a lot of his songs that were popular?
but Jay Z got some hits too, man. Like Jay Z got a good amount of hits.
They
Like
do. And
Yeah,
most of
but-
those were made by that brother named Kanye. So it just depends. If it wasn't Kanye, it was Pharrell mostly. It was either Kanye or it was Pharrell that made most of his stuff memorable.
yeah,
Both different kind of guys, by the way. So it's like he needs them to
But
be at the level
Jay-Z
he's
still
at.
brought the lyrics. That's the thing. Jay-Z still brought the lyrics.
He did, and they're nothing without the uniqueness of what they brought to the sound.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not disputing the
If
sound,
it was
but
if it was not for their caliber of mainstreamism and diversity, what would he really be outside of just lyricists from New York that people respect in New York?
bro, I
For
still
the
feel
people
like we're
outside
starting
of
to
New
play
York.
Jay-Z, man. I still feel like we're starting to play Jay-Z and it's getting to the point where it feels as if people have forgotten what this man is.
I think people definitely know, but like we had this conversation before. Like you are low key like a hip hop purist, right? So
Yes.
you're looking for lyricism.
Yes.
But we talked about how now, like, do we even consider the music that's being put out under the hip hop category, or is this a completely different category now?
Mhm.
And it's hard to put up somebody who you feel like from a hip hop purist standpoint could go up against Jay-Z, because everybody they're trying to put up has all these other aspects that
Right.
make them
Right. Yeah, because hip hop and rap are two different things.
right.
And I think people don't consider that.
yeah,
They
and
are two different things.
these battles haven't also only been one genre. Like they've done R&B, and
Mm-hmm.
so like it really just depends on it's like what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's like you have a boxer and an MMA fighter, like if you play by MMA rules, like the boxer
You had to.
plan.
Now you just made him think of a fight that just happened when you said that.
No. Because Jake Paul is not a boxer. No, I don't want to hear that. No.
And then legs, like he's gonna you know. So I don't know. Like it just depends on the rules you put on the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I dig it. Not mad.
Nah, that was good.
That was good, Joe. That was a good one. You know, fam, all in all, we just here to say, look, real talk, 2021 was a very interesting year. For us, for sure, a fun one. You know, just throwing out there that just so y'all know, we do have fans. And I just want to remind you, Chris Brown versus Usher did happen within this year. Biggie versus Tupac.
Don't remind me of that.
In this year.
Do not. Don't
Hey
do that.
man.
Don't
Hey
do
man.
that.
Hey man.
I'm still
I'm so pissed
traumatized by
by
that.
that.
Like it wasn't.
Hey
I
Meg.
still want a rematch.
It needs to happen. It's gonna have to
Meg
happen
Thee
next year.
Stallion versus Cardi B did
Oh,
happen
that was
this year.
good.
That was really good.
See, they weren't all
Oh no, I'm not saying they were all bad, but that
DMX
Brown
versus
Usher,
Busta Rhymes happened this year.
yeah.
You know, I mean, Drake versus Kanye happened within this year. I mean, yeah, some good ones out there. It gave the
Drake
test
Kanye
of
was
time.
the last one. So we're gonna have to come back with a bang.
With a bang, man.
And I've said this before. I said it earlier. Fans is significantly better than Versus. We have the criteria. We have 13 rounds. You know, we force a winner. So it's just, you know, I guarantee if we were on the mainstream platform right now, we would beat out Versus. And I will say that 10 times out of 10.
Talk your shit, Derrick.
It's just, you know, it is what it is. It just is.
Throw it out, man. Throw it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what took a sip and just, you know, he already.
Because I don't like flexing. I don't like flexing on people, but I gotta put the flex on. You know, because Fans is a really good show. Yes, we've had some hiccups over the last year, but you know, it was a good first season. I think, you know, we'll come back with the second season next year, and we'll have something that will surprise people. I think people will enjoy what they see, and you know, if we get more support with it, we'll get on that level of Versus and take Timbaland and Swizz out.
Well, you already know. We'll pull the curtain back. You see it? Yeah, I see you, Janean. I see you. Let me pull the curtain back real quick and take producer Derrick from the on-screen personality, you guys know him, to the behind-the-scenes hard-working personality that he is. And sir, as the producer, as the visionary behind the OTS brand, talk to the people about how you feel about Pass the Ox as a show within this year and the things that has happened within this year on this very show, sir.
Tell us how you really feel.
Pass the Ox is, you know, I told y'all before, Pass the Ox is one of my favorite shows that's on the OTS brand. I think what is done here is unique. Yeah, we've had music shows before that discuss, you know, what's going on, but I think the perspectives that we have on this show, you know, just from different perspectives in terms of a fan perspective, an artist perspective, producer's perspective, I think it creates a unique product that, to be completely honest, I have not seen anywhere else. And I study shows, so I all I know is, you know, see, this, I don't like bragging or anything like that. I really don't. You're taking me out of my element because I don't like doing this. But I do believe that OTS in general has a collection of shows that I think beats out everybody else. To be completely honest, you know, it just doesn't have the major backing yet. We're not known worldwide right now, but it's a unique brand in general, in and of itself. OTS is something that focuses on factual reporting on who, you know, we're discussing, and I think we do an excellent job with making that excuse me, with making that a conscious effort every time we get on the show. So coming on here and we're discussing artists, whether it's independent artists, mainstream artists, I think we're doing everybody a great service to put a spotlight on them in a factual way that brings us back to that old school form of journalism where it's not about clicks. if it was about clicks, we'd be doing a lot of other stuff on here, man. Like if it was just about clicks, if it was just about ratings. It's not about that. It's about bringing integrity and facts back uh, uh, to journalism and not just media in general, because it doesn't matter if we're writing an article, it doesn't matter if we're recording a podcast or whatever we're doing, if we're making music or whatever. It doesn't matter what we're doing everything to the best of our ability, and we put that high quality attention um to these shows. And we don't have a huge following yet, but we'll get there. It, to me, it's just I'm grateful that it's even at this point, 3 years in, and every year it's gotten better. Where it was year one, like, y'all.
Whole another conversation.
It was literally just three letters. There was no logo, there was no colors, it was no branding. It was just
no crew,
and it wasn't even a business. It was just I was doing it as a brand under my old media company, just trying to get something going, and then it just started growing organically. And I love the organic growth. That's why even if we only have 373 followers on Instagram, that's organic.
Yeah.
Organic, baby.
I could have bought the bots and stuff like that, and we'd be up to 10,000 followers and all that stuff right now. Didn't do it. I was told to do it. People told me to do it multiple times. Nah. And I think word of mouth is stronger. So we're growing. Past the Aux is growing. We got a new logo this year. So
yes, sir.
It's growing as a brand. And we're evolving, and I want to stop talking about this now, because this makes me so uncomfortable. But
I got you, brother. I got
what
you.
happens.
Well, allow me then. I guess it's only fitting to tell the audience and the listeners some breaking special news that we got for this very show. Y'all want to share that? Shall we share that? Shall we?
Wait.
For Past the Aux?
Do what your heart feels.
Yeah. Do as the spirit leads you.
Do as the don't tell me that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let him use you, brother. Let him use you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, we first and foremost just want to say thank y'all so much. I could pull up the stats. I could read, all the countries, but y'all know where y'all at. Y'all know where y'all listening to us faithfully at. Okay? Regardless if you're overseas, right here in the US of A, don't matter where you at. Maybe in one of our borders, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in Canada, Mexico, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you at, okay? Wherever you're listening to, man, first and foremost, we, from the bottom of our hearts, like to say thank you, because we appreciate y'all, because y'all keep us going. You know what I'm saying? And as Derrick mentioned, so regardless of how few, how many, how large, medium, small, however, we appreciate every single download, every single save, every single listen, every single repost, all of that. Which leads me to a big special announcement that we got, because we got a very, very special guest coming to y'all to kick off the next season of Past the Aux, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about, we got a legend coming on to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows him from a legendary group that we actually just kind of talked about, that fresh out of a Verzuz battle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about none other than Bone Thugs and Harmony's own Ill Spitter. Crazy Bone is going to be joining us right here. January 13th. He going to be right here on this very, very, very show. And we going to get to chop it up with the legend. Talk about a bunch of cool subjects and topics. So, as always, man, we may bring that to y'all live. We may bring it to you pre-tape. Who knows? All I do know is y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that special season premiere of Past the Ox, featuring special guest, legendary artist himself, Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, baby. Cleveland in the building, Atlanta in the building, Memphis in the building, Jersey in the building, Mexico in the building. They all in the building. And it's going to be crazy.
Jamaica.
All right. Jamaica in the building, man. You know. Hey, I say all this to say it's going to be crazy. And I use that pun completely intended when I say, make sure y'all in the building January 13th, next season for the season premiere of Past the Ox. So, yo, crew, y'all got anything else left to say before we go ahead and close this thing on out?
No, man, I just want to say thank you for another amazing year. Like I get emotional every year when we have to do these wrap ups because I just appreciate the space that y'all have created. Like Derrick said, Past Docs is different. You have just the casual listener, you have the artist, and then you have the behind the scenes producer guy. So it's three very different perspectives, but yet it's one great collective. And to feel like there's a space where I am a woman podcasting and I feel like my opinion matters, and y'all are so understanding with like schedules and me being a mom and everything. Like, it's bomb, and I just love to see our progression every episode, every season.
Yes.
I'm just excited to see what 2022 brings.
Yes, ma'am. You go, girl. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We needed that woman presence on this show, man. And you came through with the whole flair to give it to him, man. The light of our world, man, that just be keeping us feeling good, feeling bubbly, being able to go out there and give them what they want with all the charisma, all the energy, and all the excitement, man. So this trio, all the smoke.
And all the hookah, shisha brands, hookah brands. Hey, every episode I'm on here blowing big clouds. A couple of sponsorships would be nice. I'm just saying.
Hey, off the hookah, somebody, all right? Vape shop, anybody, all right? Listen, you need some sponsors, hookah sponsors. Send your finest hookah. To the one and only Queen of Clatchet, Miss Boozy Thuggin.
The absolute finest.
Come on now.
Absolute finest.
You already know. You already know. You see the drip. You know what time it is. Baby, what's up, man? So, all in all, man, thank y'all so much, man. We appreciate y'all. But real talk, we are looking for sponsors, man. So maybe you listening to this and you like, man, I like this energy. I like this right here. Hey, make sure you contact, all right, all things. Derrick, you want to give them a contact where they can reach out to you officially if they just say, I do want to sponsor these guys and see what we can throw into the fray.
Yeah. You can, what's my email address right now? Derrick. Well, it's been a long 2 weeks. I'm sorry. No, I haven't even had any yet.
Come on now.
Derrick at otsmediaco.com. DERRICK, the black way to spell it. Email there, or you can do the contact at otsmediaco.com. Just hit us up on there as well. We'll get it. So either way.
There you go. Either way, man. Trust me when I say you around a surrounded set of people that's gonna have your brand feeling right. Trust you. So that being said, Fresco Phillipe, my guy, before we let you go, man, before we roll out this thing, you got anything else you want to say in closing remarks, my brother?
Perfect pronunciation.
I just want to say congratulations to you guys. Another year. It's dope. It's dope to be back. And like, bro, when we do what we do, consistency is the first step. So you guys are consistently doing it. I'm really proud of you guys, and I see the work that you're putting in, and it's been really, really fun to be a part of the process. I really respect what y'all do and the way that y'all do it. And I think you guys are a model for how shit should be done and how authentic these things should be. So keep doing what you're doing and keep doing it the way that you're doing it. And I'm sure like some form of success is on the way for you guys. So congratulations, and like I said, keep working.
Appreciate you, bro.
Keep working.
Thank you very
Likewise for
much.
you, my brother. Thank you so much again for always joining us. You are always welcome on this very platform. You already know that. Along with our sister platform, Plugged In, man. So when you got that exclusive heat you want to send, you already know where to send that thing, man. PTA Music at otsmediaco.com, y'all. So, hey, man, again, thank y'all so much for a wonderful, wonderful 2021, man. Been great, been real. Y'all already know we doing it even bigger and better in 2022. So already, go ahead, raise them glasses up. You know what time it is. We finna roll. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go. So, hey,
That ain't it. Ox. Pass that. Ox.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bobbing through your jocks.
we thank y'all so much. We rolling out of here, and we gonna say, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, baby. Hey, thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all in 2022. Let go.